Welcome to the Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce for Entrepreneurs channel. The Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce for Entrepreneurs channel. This is where we discuss the journey of the entrepreneur, and particularly my journey. And just it's another day that the Most High has made for us to really embrace the day, come up with a plan and an active plan, so you can sustain yourselves and your family. And your families. Just thinking back on yesterday was actually a really very, very productive day for me. I had some time off a little bit and got a chance to spend some time alone and just to clear my mind. And then had a really successful meeting yesterday. So it was, very, very, very productive. I think it's a beautiful thing as I started growing in wisdom and growing in grace, that it's a beautiful thing when like minds can come together and come up with a formidable plan, to sustain you and your families. It's a beautiful thing. Today we're going to talk about times have changed. The times have changed. And what I'm going to say is, like, I'm not going to bite my tongue about it. This is not to throw shade at anyone in particular, but the truth is the truth, you know what I'm saying? And, I know for me, I am tired of people walking around, just there's a huge elephant in the room and nobody refuses to address it. And particularly the black church, what it is, what it is. We can jump for Jesus all day long, but at the end of the day, faith has a job and it's supposed to be work. Faith without works is dead. And I guess I take, it's almost like a vendetta, a personal vendetta against a lot of, not all, a lot of the black churches, because we take in so much tithing money, but yet we have no businesses. It's what it is. You buy a new building, you build an edifice, but what about your babies? Can they make money in that edifice? That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? I think all of you all who are attending church, you should definitely approach your pastor about having some type of entrepreneur programs to teach you all how to do and sustain for yourself. But hey, that's too much like right. Nobody wants to hear that talk, but it's the truth. So that's for another video though. But that was just one of the first thoughts that kind of came to my memory, to my mind as I was, preparing to go into this particular subject. Times have changed, and from where I sit and see, the black community is at a standing free fall, literally. I'm not saying that to cast shade on any other groups. I'm just speaking for people in groups that look like me or that identify with, the groups that I'm a part of. Everybody else does it. It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So there's no hate, anything cast towards anyone else, but I am going to speak for my people. I listen to so many of you who have talents and gifts, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's singing, whether it's art, whether it's just whatever, but you're not transmuting that into the next level. And for that reason, you will remain stuck. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. What I, or the Most High, allowed me to do was to build without any help. You know what I'm saying? No bank loans, no one gave me nothing but the shelters, you know what I'm saying? But I was able to climb out. To those who don't understand, that's on you. All I know is sheer grit and determination and an active plan will get you there. But yes, we are at a free fall. Not just our community, but a lot of communities. And that's the second phase I'll throw in there. Because you have gifts and talents, but you won't use them. Or either you're scared to use them. But then Yeshua said, fear not. You know what I'm saying? Fear not. Like, why are y'all so scared to do things? And then on top of that, when you see someone else that's doing it, you take art with that. Everybody's been given the same amount of time in a day to make their choices, whether it be good choices, whether it be bad choices, and as far as I'm concerned, if you're able-bodied, there's no reason to be sitting still. Again, I guess I liken it to because I do work with shelters and stuff like that, and I think it's very unfortunate to see grown men, and I'm speaking for men, nothing against our sisters either, but they're just sitting there, just wasting away. You got a good talk game, but you're not moving. So basically, this is a message, about how we are in a free fall, and unfortunately, a lot of you don't even see it. A lot of you don't even know it. You just go day through day and just la di dee, la di da, la di dee. But yeah, here we go. I'm about to dig back into my my movie or song collection. When I think it was The Wiz. It might be The Wiz. It might. And the reason I say The Wiz is The Wizard of Oz and The Wiz. Like The Wizard of Oz is the white Wiz version, and the Wiz is the black Wiz version. But I didn't watch it, but I really need to watch The Wizard of Oz. And it was my recollection when I think Dorothy asked someone in that movie about where you gonna go or where she's trying to go, and she was like, "Well, I don't know." And then she was like, "Well, if you don't know, any road will take you there." That's really the truth. You know what I'm saying? So many of you all don't know and have a road. You haven't made a choice on which road you're gonna take. You know, and what you have to remember, and I'll say this like respectfully, but at the same time, is you can put a sword in there too. Who are your children going to work for? Just think about it. Let's just take a minute and like really think about that. The Most High gave you an entrepreneur vision and a goal and dreams for reasons beyond just making money. To you Christians out there, it's supposed to be for your children's children. How are you going to leave for your children's children when you don't want to get out here and sacrifice? How does that work? How do you sacrifice? You don't want to sacrifice, and your babies, once we're gone, your children are going to need which way are they going to go? Who are they going to turn to? That is one of the major elephants in the room from what I can see. And so you can be in heaven partying with Jesus all day long, and babies was left behind. I'm just going to call it like I see it. Like the preacher told the congregation, I'll never forget it. He said, he gonna cut the wood and let the chips fall where they may. That's it. That's what we're here to do, is to cut the wood and let the chips fall where they may. So the thing is, we have to wake up, you know what I'm saying? And we have to really like Earth, Wind, and Fire says, there's another song, in the song Fantasy, he said, you must lie now in review. Anyway, I'm not gonna sing the lyrics of it because it just plays. But anyway, you should lie now in review. In the song called Fantasy by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Everyone should lie now in review. On the direction that you're taking. If you're wasting a bunch of time, if you're out here getting high, just all kind of negative things. You know what I'm saying? Let that SH go. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? We have a whole nation of people that's waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? They're waiting on you. And and it's very unfortunate. So, we need to get it together, really. And stop hating on one another. You know what I'm saying? If somebody got a new motorcycle or a car, then good for you. That's their plight. You can do the same thing too. But I do understand, I do understand, and I do overstand how that mindset was developed. I do get it. So a lot of you can't help it. But just look in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? Just realize that you've been given a talent, you've been given a gift. Again, mine was making hot sauce. This is it. Yep. Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce. This is what climbed me out of homelessness. I'm telling you. It's in the book. It is a situation where I had a good product, and what happened was I got fired or dismissed from 11 jobs. Couldn't find work. You know what I'm saying? Looking for work, and that's when it hit me. If you're supposed to be the hot sauce man, why are you not selling hot sauce? And I was like, ding, 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 ding. That's when everything went off for me. You know what I'm saying? So immediately I went, it hit me like, wow, that is so true. So instead of looking for a job, I had to get some re-up money so I could basically start making my product. And then from there, I was literally going to barbershops and salons. It's in my book, man. Y'all got to check it out. The book is tight. But anyway, it's the whole story and the journey, man. I can't wait till you read it. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, basically, that's what happened. And I had a route. Basically, I had a route going to barbershops and salons from Virginia Beach all the way to Newport News on Saturdays. Some days I made $6. Some days I made $66. But guess what? I was very thankful. You know what I'm saying? And now I look back years later, or people that see me now, they look up, they were like, are you serious? Are you serious? And it started from this bottle right here. This is where it started from. I'll never forget it. And it's a good product. You should order your bottle. ChefJoseph'sKickSauce.com. And more than that is contributing to a bigger cause than this channel. So if you got talents, gifts, different things like that, if you're experiencing homelessness, if you want to know how to climb out of homelessness, if you have product development, things like that, you're trying to develop your product, look, I do consultations. You can actually go to my website, ChefJoseph'sKickSauce.com, and you can go to the Entrepreneurs tab. And then there you can book me for a calendar consultation, A to Z, from building food trucks to how to survive homelessness, on to recipe development, on to restaurants. I mean, literally, and building your business brand. Like, I can cover a wide range of subjects, and on top of that, you'll be on your path. I will tell you this to those who may not quite understand, just know you have to be willing to invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because no one, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then who's going to invest in it for you? You know what I'm saying? Right now, like, I'm in some major conversations to do some major things, and it's a great, great process. It is. Unfortunately, my child will not get to see that. But that was just another thing I'm thinking about. Just hit me from the left, because we're supposed to be leaving generational wealth for our children's children. But however, just be encouraged in what you do. Just know, whether you see it or not, we are in a free fall. Not only us, but the economy is in a free fall. This is an opportunity to make money. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? It is like, it may seem, you see the doom and gloom on the news and stuff like that, but it's not. If you are innovative and you have some, like a plan, that a sustainable plan that can get you there, not just a dream. Dreams do come true as well, but a plan that will get you there. Then I'm telling you now, like, this is a great time if you're innovative. But the thing is, the wheat and the tares all growing together. You know what I'm saying? And in the day of judgment, again, I'm not talking about when we die and go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in the day of judgment. It'll be shown and revealed to those who put the work in. And just know one thing, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. You will go through something. You must know. Let me say that again. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say it. One time one time for the Father, one time for the Son, one time for the Holy Ghost. You will go through something. You will go through something, and you will go through something. So don't look strange at that man on the corner. Like I said, that may be sitting down. He may have $1 million plan. You just don't know that. But you will go through something. You will lose sleep. You can lose relationships. You can lose jobs. Hello. But because that's part of the training. That's part of the training ground to make you fortified so you can handle success. Yeah. And also know that many people will, well, I can say many, some people might or may fall away from you. They may do it, because they haven't leveled up. and they see you looking in the mirror at something that you're supposed to do, then they have a art against it. They feel a certain type of way. But why are you feeling a certain type of way when you have the same thing? You just have to find it. That's our responsibility. So with that, just know we are in a free fall. And I suggest you build your parachutes seriously. As a matter of fact, have a reserve parachute. You know what I'm saying? Because, when things really hit the fan, as they are, then you're going to have a plan, or you should have a plan so you can sustain you and your family. I'm a proponent of family business. I see why other cultures do it, to have multiple children and children and everything. But a lot of that's generation stuff they passing back so they can sustain, so they can keep the bloodline going. But I'm not gonna get into that bloodline topic because that's a whole nother conversation a lot of y'all not ready for. I know you ain't. So, but that's what I'm saying. Well, how you gonna get free if you don't look in the mirror and address it? You know what I'm saying? You gotta look in the mirror. Lauryn Hill said it. If you're looking for the answers, then you got to ask the questions. And if you don't ask no questions, man, like I said again, man, that's on you. This is an information age. There's so much going on, so much to learn, so much to see, so much to embrace. And that's what I'm saying. In my years now, like my mentor Junior, before he transitioned, he's in my book as well, because that's the man that stepped into my life. Oh my God, you gotta read it. His name was Junior. But he would be sitting back drinking his gin in his chair, and he'd be like, "Life is grand. Life is grand." And I can actually say, I'm beginning to see that life is grand. It is. Embrace every day, you know what I'm saying? Come up with a plan. And even though you don't see it, just know we, as well as the economy, are in a free fall. And you could be the answer to someone's problems. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go on that. Like and subscribe to this channel. You know what I'm saying? To help the algorithm and stuff like that. Again, I'm not doing this for money. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it because the message needs to get out. See what I'm saying? My story has to get out. It's time now. I've waited 25 years to tell my story, and now it's about to go on a serious book, and I'm telling it on these channels here, so you all will know that, as much as I went through, when you see it, man, from like literally almost being burned up in a house fire, for real, like I'm not exaggerating, I'm talking about literally putting out flames and taking in smoke, like some movie type stuff, and yeah, went through that, homelessness and everything, and just the emotional roller coaster that I went through, you know what I'm saying, and in different things, just fighting and battling homelessness, yeah. But at the end of the day, don't despise the homeless people. They're people too. That's another thing I'll say. They're people just like you. They're just people just like me. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of people, what I see is a lot of people had broken dreams. But the thing is, you can pick those dreams up off the ground and piece them back together. You can do that. No one talks about that though. But so just because the dream has been broken don't mean you can't piece that thing back together and then make it work. You know what I'm saying? So, but thank you for your time. I got to get my day started actually. And like I said, I had a really good day yesterday. Everything was great. And yeah, so just be encouraged. Like and subscribe to this channel, the Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce for Entrepreneurs. That's if you want to learn anything entrepreneurially, or my story can relate to yours. You know what I'm saying? Or if you find any type of encouragement. But even if you don't subscribe, like to the channel either way. So I'm gonna let y'all go on that note, and I hope y'all have a fabulous day, and do something productive. As Queen Amida Shakur would say, do something productive and not destructive. Those are her words. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. Yeah, don't stop the destructive behavior. So I gotta roll. I gotta get in and change some grease. So have a good day, and just know, just make it happen.